Hello and welcome back to No Bullshit. Today we turn to talking about one of America's most beloved actors who, over the years, has become a bit of a hack and a loon, who of course has also been suffering from Trump derangement syndrome since 2016. Yes, as the title of this video suggests, today we're talking about the breaking down of Robert De Niro. De Niro rose to prominence playing a young Vito Corleone in the 1974 classic film The Godfather Part 2. Later he rose to greater fame in other gangster and crime-related movies like Goodfellas, Heat, Casino, and Analyze This. And one of my personal favorites was De Niro's turn to full-on comedy in the Meet the Parents film series. And that's only a small fraction of this legend's respectable filmography. So yeah, needless to say, I obviously respect the guy's work, his acting chops, and mostly legitimate film choices. But this only leads up to about the mid-2000s. Since then, De Niro's movie roles have been questionable at best, and outright embarrassing at worst, sometimes even getting relegated to parts on made-for-TV like direct-to-DVD and streaming releases. Oh, how the mighty have fallen in this case. Back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, De Niro was quite literally on top of the acting world, but now he's fallen off into irrelevance. But Robert De Niro isn't going down without a fight here. He's still acting now well into his late 70s. And of course, and the main topic of today's video, Robert De Niro has become a prominent Trump basher. And with all this said about him before, it's becoming pretty obvious why he's really doing it too. De Niro is attacking Trump to try and stay relevant, clearly, and it's working in some small ways too. His fellow Hollywood elites of course support him and cheer him on constantly, as do many of the other numerous anti-Trumpers out there in the world. But I think the population at large is getting a little sick of all these celebrities preaching politics, pretending they know what's best for America while also looking down on us from their ivory towers in Tinseltown. Frankly, actors should just stick to acting, reading lines, and performing their tricks in front of cameras. I don't know why they always get it in their heads that their political opinions are important, valid, or in need of being spread, but that's what's brought us here today. Robert De Niro has been showing his Trump derangement syndrome in public now for a long while too, but this week, things seem to have hit ahead. De Niro's gone off the deep end this time, and that's why we need to go over it all in this video, so we can laugh at this old fart and put him in his place as well. Now, before we get to this week's recent silliness from De Niro, let's first turn to a clip of him from the Tony Awards that happened last summer. Here he makes a rather interesting and unique entrance, especially considering this is supposed to be an award show for Broadway actors that he's walking on stage for. Take a look at what he says right away.
I'm going to say one thing. Trump.
Well put, Mr. De Niro. Wow, you totally don't sound bitter, deranged, or childish at all. And I'm sure all those Broadway actors who spent their whole lives working to try and get to this award show, well, I'm sure they aren't offended by this political distraction at all. Hashtag sarcasm. Really, this is an embarrassing moment for Robert De Niro and the Tony Awards. Instead of focusing on their work and sticking to their strengths, they got biased and political and cringy as hell. It's also worth mentioning how this isolates half of their potential fan base. These Hollywood and Broadway productions are trying to entice viewers to make money for them, right? So why would they want to get political and stupid like this? A move that obviously alienates half of their potential fan base and customers. Well, I'll tell you why. It's because they are so consumed with hatred for Trump and conservatives. That's making them do things that are crazy and not in the best interest for themselves or for their sides politically, for that matter. Think about it. All these Looney Tunes celebrities coming out for the Democratic side, they're not only hurting their jobs and their profits in entertainment, but they're also sometimes hurting the Democrats themselves. I know they think they have some sort of godlike power to influence people and make them vote in elections the way they want, but I think Hollywood elites like Robert De Niro, they greatly overestimate their pull here. Just remember back to 2016. Hillary had all of Hollywood and every celebrity and their mother supporting her, and she still lost the election, so that just goes to show you how much the average voter in America actually cares what celebrities think. And this is only the beginning of De Niro's downfall too. Now let's fast forward back to the present, where sometime last week, Robert did the same kind of bullshit at another award show. This time it was at the American Icon Awards, where De Niro was on stage giving a speech to honor his fellow actor Al Pacino, another great. We don't have a good video of this one, but to sum things up, De Niro decides to take a good long 1-minute digression from his speech that was supposed to be honoring Pacino, but instead he just couldn't resist getting another F Trump in here. While he's got the stage time and the camera's still on him. De Niro even calls for the removal and arrest of Trump here, which is absolutely absurd. There are exactly zero reasons to do this, but De Niro pushes for this coup d'etat fantasy anyway. This also reminds me of another thing I've noticed about De Niro's criticism of Trump. It's almost non-existent. Sure, he says he hates the president and he wants him gone, but De Niro never really gives an actual reason why. He doesn't make any accusations that would incriminate Trump, and he doesn't attack policies that he thinks Trump is wrong on either. All Robbie D can come up with is his vulgar attacks at the president and callings for him to be arrested and jailed for no reason. Pretty pathetic. And it's really sad to see De Niro like this too. He hasn't made a good movie since the 2000s, and now he just comes off as a crazed old man obsessed with hating Trump. Trump derangement syndrome is obviously on full display here, and De Niro's hatred for the president also shows he has contempt for Americans, the ones who elected him, like us. And this could also be what aged De Niro so much in recent years, and it also could very well be preventing him from making great films like he used to. Very sad to see. And remember, the guy just ruined a tribute to another amazing and great actor, Al Pacino, too. What a sad, angry, and very troubled person Robert De Niro has become. But wait, there's plenty more to go over here. Next, De Niro went on to write a strongly worded open letter to the New York Times, which they happily published, being the biased never-Trump hacks that they are. In his letter, called Robert De Niro, Robert Mueller, We Need to Hear More, in it, De Niro begs the special investigator Robert Mueller to speak out against Trump more. I guess De Niro thinks Mueller is holding back some fake wannabe smoking gun of evidence, which might incriminate the president or something. I don't know what he's thinking, because the Mueller report came out weeks ago and it's cleared Trump and his team of any wrongdoing. There was no collusion. Get over it. And I don't know why these out-of-control Democrats think they can still make something out of this nothing burger. But here we are. That's what's brought us here today. Now we've got an elderly, out-of-touch Hollywood actor who thinks he can strong-arm Mueller into incriminating the president for crimes which he never committed. Pretty insane if you think about it, but maybe Robert De Niro is finally going senile or something. Lastly, De Niro has continued his crazy talk on the Now This News channel. That's right, the worst liberal propaganda pusher there is on the internet, and Robert De Niro is making a video with them right after he just collaborated with the most radically biased and liberal newspaper in the country, the New York Times. You really can't make this kind of biased bullshit up, and he really wants us to take him seriously about indicting or arresting Trump? Please, you're biased as hell and we all know it. Regardless, let's take a look at the video from Now This for a minute anyway and see what they have to say.
You may have seen me on Saturday Night Live as a certain federal prosecutor. That was acting. But now we're going to hear from some real federal prosecutors. Recently, over 1,000 former federal prosecutors who served under both Republican and Democratic presidents have united to sign a statement to help Americans understand what's actually in the Mueller report.
Okay, two things about that. First of all, you started off saying you were acting before, then implying that now you're getting real. But I see you as just acting again here. But instead of playing one of your gangster-like characters, now De Niro is playing a liberal propagandist. You're acting just in a different way here. Just like how all of these other liberal Hollywood elites do when they try and make these left-wing infomercials like this Now This video. Secondly, this video tries to brag about having 1,000 former federal prosecutors on their side here, also even claiming they worked under presidents from both political parties. And well, that may be true, but still, it's not that hard to find 1,000 lawyers in the country who hate Trump and will back you up on this, no matter what. There's literally millions of lawyers out there, half of which probably hate the president because they're hardcore Democrats. So yeah, frankly, I'm kind of surprised you only found 1,000 lawyers to support you here. And with all this said, I really don't think this 1,000 lawyer claim helps your cause as much as you think it does. I think it's just a way Now This is trying to make it look like they have more evidence or something, more credit, when they really don't.
Their conclusion should trouble us all. Listen to them in their own words.
We are former federal prosecutors.
We served under Democratic presidents
and Republican presidents.
We carefully read and analyzed the Mueller report.
And we all strongly believe that there is more than enough evidence to indict President Trump for multiple felony counts of obstruction of justice.
Jesus Christ, lady, your uneven eye blinking is not only distracting, it's probably a tell sign that you're lying or misleading us here. And I don't care how many lawyers or actors want to indict Trump over nothing. Just because you hate the president doesn't make him guilty of a crime. It would be rather convenient if that was true, wouldn't it? I mean, I hate people all the time. We all hate people here or there in our lives, at work or online, but for some reason, by some stroke of luck, every time the liberal Democrats hate hate someone, they just happen to be criminals, or racist, or sexist, or something. Please. Trump is squeaky clean and innocent, and we all know it. You guys just hate the guy, and you're still butthurt that Hillary lost, so you're trying to pretend that this person you hate is also a criminal, a racist, and a sexist, which makes it so easy and convenient for you to oust him with these fake indictments. Come on. You gotta know how stupid and childish you're sounding by now. The Mueller report has been out. There's no crimes or indictments. Time to get over it, guys. There's no amount of celebrities and banding together that's going to change these facts. So I think it's time for you all to move on.
And no one, not even the president, should be above the law.
In the words of the Mueller report, no person is above the law.
I agree, no one's above the law, but the president isn't acting as if he is, like how you imply. Really, you're the ones who want him to be guilty because you don't like him, but that's not enough for indictments and convictions in America. Fortunately, here, we have a relatively fair and balanced legal system that stops people like Robert De Niro from arresting those they don't like just because, like there's some sort of communist Gestapo. So with that said, it actually seems like Robert De Niro and these other stupid lawyers, you guys are acting as if you're above the law. You're the ones who want to arrest and imprison an innocent person because you don't like them, and that sounds pretty above the law to me. You're bending the law to your will instead of following its actual rules, and you're trying to use the judicial system for your own personal biased ends, and that's far worse than anything Trump has ever done. In the end, Robert De Niro is clearly breaking down hard this week. All that Trump derangement syndrome is really getting to him, and the fact that liberals are finally realizing that not only will this Mueller report turn out to be an epic waste of time and money, but also De Niro and his cohorts are pissed because they can see that Trump will not only remain in office for the rest of his term, but also he will very likely win a second term in 2020, next year's presidential election. And this is why we're seeing such desperate and weak attacks coming from the left this late in the game, even after the Mueller report has been released, verified, and proven to produce no evidence of any crimes whatsoever. What do you guys think? Is Robert De Niro breaking down? Do you think it's appropriate to make crazy political statements at award shows and honorary speeches? And why do you think these liberals believe they can just arrest anyone they don't like for no reason? Comment your thoughts on everything below, and thanks for watching No Bullshit. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, and we'll see y'all next time.